You got American Airlines flight in the news today, but it's not because like a door suddenly burst open or the plane plummeted 3,000 feet out of nowhere. But instead, it's because this flight that was set to go from Phoenix to New York, while just sitting on the tarmac, right, waiting to take off, when all of a sudden a flight attendant selects 8 men and orders them off of the plane.
There was a flight attendant walking down the aisle, and they were plucking people with what seemed at random, telling them that they had to be placed onto another flight.
So you just have to take your belongings. And I was just like, why? And she was like, oh, we'll tell you when we get off the plane.
And so they get off and they turn around and they look at each other and they realize, hey, wait a second.
This is crazy. Y'all just took like 8 black people off the plane.
Right, all 8 of them, black men. They didn't know each other. They weren't seated together, and they said they appeared to be the only black men on the flight. And so understandably, they're like, well, what's going on? With the airline staff then explaining that they were removed because of a body odor complaint made by a flight attendant who is a white man. Though none of them were individually singled out, and all of them denied having body odor. Also, the flight attendant didn't just go to the source of the supposed odor and pick whoever the culprit was, as their lawyer explains.
American Airlines representatives walked down the aisle and systematically picked out every black male passenger aboard the flight. They were going into separate rows on different sides of the plane.
They were hesitant and like, okay, like trying to find where the black people were. Like, oh, there's another one. There you go.
So naturally, they're like, okay, what the fuck? This is clearly racist. And you can hear them arguing with the staff in a cell phone video.
So this is discrimination.
Yo, this is insane.
I agree.
Yo, just because of the color of my skin.
Meanwhile, you had the airline insisting that they had to get rebooked on a different flight, but the staff couldn't find one to New York that night. And so after about an hour, they let the men return to their seats on the plane, which prompted stage 2 of the experience, which they called traumatic, upsetting, scary, humiliating, and degrading.
I knew that as soon as I get on that plane, a sea of white faces were going to be looking at me and blaming me for their late flight of an hour.
Had to go back on the plane with everybody looking at us, everybody staring at me.
And so now 3 of them are suing American Airlines for what they say is blatant and egregious race discrimination. With one telling the Washington Post, unfortunately, I'm a black man and I live in America. It wakes you back up to the reality that I can't just go to the store. I can't just do regular things like take a plane home. And actually, looking into this is not American Airlines' first rodeo, we'll call it. In fact, the NAACP issued a travel advisory against the company back in 2017 due to several incidents where black people were removed from planes for various reasons. Though notably, the group did lift the warning the following year after the airline made a number of changes, including to its employee training. But yeah, here we are today.